let's say, hit them more to even do better. So we were so critical of John Mahama, His Excellency John Mahama, from 2012 down to 2014 to 2016. We were so critical of him. It's just like you having two kids and you know this one doesn't do very well. So you always want to push that kid to come up.
Yeah.
And then you look at the other one, that one does very well. So even in faltering, you feel okay, it might be one or two things that's pushing him down. So you can, behind the scenes, support that kid to come back because you know the trajectory that kid has been charting from time to time. You see that. So with the MPP, I would rather want to compare this MPP government with the past MPP government.
Now will make giving the work too difficult for them because if you go to Kufuor's administration and compare the economy to now, the difference is so significant.
If that's an issue, then what it means is that but they are all from the same stock.
Yeah,
luckily enough, the very man who was in charge of that government is still very much alive. He's still very much okay. He can espouse whatever ideas he needs to espouse. I'm not sure President Kufuor has gone down a certain lane that he cannot even prefer solutions.
So what you're saying that you expect this government to seek more counsel from?
Yes, and to have done far, far better than what they are doing now. That's why I say I do not want to compare this MPP government to an NDC government. No. I want to compare to
even in comparison,
that came from the same stock.
Even in comparison, when you compare this government to the NDC government, a government we said were, and in fact, at that point in time, that was the truth. There were a lot of hardship, a lot of difficulties. But some of the metrics we've looked at this morning, theirs is sometimes way better than this current administration.
The metrics you were mentioning, if I'll not be lying, about 70 to 80% of us are tired of these metrics you have been espousing. Seriously. Because all I want to see is what is happening around me immediately.
But these metrics will inform you of how the individuals are going.
I am not looking at those metrics.
But inflation tells you.
When I get up in the morning, within a week, within a month, I expect, as a businessman, I expect to be able to make a certain level of sales.
But I'm telling you that if inflation gets to 54 and people are unable to buy, you will see the reflection. So if you go to the market and realize that the purchasing power has reduced so substantially. So these metrics, even though they could be quite abstract, they have some reflection on the pockets of people. It affects the way the economic situation plays out.
This is the things that politicians across board have using to fool all of us around. Every election year, that's what they used to fool all of us around. Oh, look at inflation as this, inflation that, interest rate, this and that and that. This morning, I want us to come down to the let's say, the uneducated person who also can understand what is going on around him or her. You get it? That if yesterday, maybe months ago, he was able to take 2 cedis to go and buy cocoa and kose and eat and then be okay with that. And that would take him to maybe in the afternoon, somewhere 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. And today with that 2 cedis, he cannot get even the cocoa and the kose.
What you're failing to realize that I want to establish to you, there is a clear relationship between these metrics and I'm coming. I want to paint the picture for you and how the citizen is feeling. So for instance, if you take our public debt stock from 120 to 600, to the extent that we needed to go to IMF to seek for support because nobody was willing to lend to us. Private investors realized that when you lend to this country, the ability to pay is nothing to write. You can't guarantee that. And we go to the IMF. You will see the impact because IMF will tell you that as part of the policy, increase your electricity bill, which the consumer will feel. Okay? As part of the whatever demands they are making, inflation is likely to go up. Your exchange rate will be affected. So all of these things we talk about, they could look academic, but on the ground, they have a clear relationship as to how your purchasing or your personal economy, looks like. So
I agree with you perfectly what you are talking about. But you see, there are different fields for us to have let's say, a warfare. If we citizens these days now want to go and battle it out to the politician on where you are coming from, the possibility that they'll use jargons around those figures, around that, to confuse us is very high. Because if you take the average Ghanaian, debt to GDP ratio, inflation,
interest rate is, when you go to the bank, you will see it.
Exactly. Yes,
it's practical.
If you take the average Ghanaian,
you will see it.
So therefore, if you take the average Ghanaian and we come to our level, I'm putting myself in the average Ghanaian today, I can be able to tell you that in 2014, 2015, in us not even trying to tell you the rise in fuel prices alone, I can be able to tell you that in 2014, I was taking car from here to, let's say, Dabai at 1 city 20 pesos. Today, that same distance is taking me almost 4 cities to 5 cities. What it's telling me now is that I am worse off. You get it? Whereas my income is the same. You get it? At that point in time, you can also relate that to debt to GDP ratio, the interest rate, fuel prices. No problem. They should take their jargons, they should take those languages to do the argument. We will also take what we understand as in our pocket, as are in and around us, that we could go maybe a full 3 weeks, a full 1 month, a full 2 months, and we are not making sales. Even if you make sales,
used not to be the case.
Which used not to be the case, yes. So if the moment I realize that I've gone a week, 2 weeks, I've not made sales. Meanwhile, when in 2014 or 2013, 2012, that was not the issue with me. Even though when there was Doomsaw, yes, we accept there was Doomsaw. Doomsaw destroyed a whole lot of things. Still, some way, somehow, we were able to go through that.
So what you're trying to tell me this morning is that if you think the technicalities or the jargons are too complex, just use your life. Assess where you were. Look at where you are now.
Exactly.
Identify the difference.
Exactly.
If you're good, you can say. If you're worse off,
exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Because those jargons they'll be using. See, before NDC came to power 2008, they use these very jargons. Okay. Look at the GDP ratio. President Kufuor, even though we went for HIPIC, our debt now has.
In fact, at the time they said 9.5 billion.
It has gotten to this. This is too much. Then we said, okay, come. By the time they were leaving, Dr. Bawumia came. If the economy,
the fundamentals
are weak, the exchange rate will expose you, blah, 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 blah. Today, the very exchange rate we are talking about, you said it was
overexposed,
right?
It was 4.2.
4.2.
As of 2012.
Let's take it to be 4. Let's even take it to 4.5. Even that, 4.5. Today, where are we now?
11 or 12?
Exactly.
Okay.
Today we are between 11 and 12. So therefore, the difference are very clear for us to see. As for the jargons, let's leave it to them, for them to do whatever they want to do.
Okay, let me take these messages. When we return, we'll still continue with this conversation. And then to ask what can be done. For me, I'm tired asking this question, but I'll ask you because it's very important. I mean, we'll try and see if we'll find answers to those questions. Because we've been asking. Yes. So, but let's take these messages first.
Are you tired of struggling with bad financial situations? At Quick Credit, we understand the difficulties that come with transitioning to a better one. That's why we're here to simplify the process for you. With loan facilities of 1,000 cedis and upwards, all you have to do is call and we will take care of the rest. All you need is your national ID. No savings, no collateral, no susu, no deposits, and no account opening required. Quick Credit has you covered. Whether you're expanding a business, starting a new one, facing an emergency like school fees or funeral expenses, or even just in need of a salary loan. Call Quick Credit today, 0302 200 390 or 059 692 0833. We do not give loans via the internet. Quick Credit is regulated and licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions apply. Quick Credit. Lending made simple.
We are all big football fans, but there are some other sports that I'm personally a fan of, like tennis and basketball. Luckily, Betway mobile and online sports betting has introduced sports, casino games, bet games, and more on their platform for us to bet on. From football to roulette to esports to horse racing. Now we can bet, win, and get paid instantly via mobile money or EFT to your bank. Visit www.betway.com.gh to play today. Remember, bet responsibly, no under 18. Betway, for the love of the game. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
The nation is full of surprises. But seen that we still live in crisis. Cantamanto, Kokosha and Yama prices. ECG for some who play one more tactics. And then I doom so watching on a pipe. Tonyama so on the bedroom the five. Fele wa gallon, I save your life. When you're near the I want to into our tight. Go from Poho so Namakofa Pro. Process so call ya no buy the draw. Parliament for no more boy bro. Me you gonna hunt to my computer raw.
So you're welcome. When you're walking in town, I want you to be careful of something. If you hear the sound, yes, charcoal toothpaste, yes, charcoal toothpaste, you have to be sure. Not all toothpastes are good for your teeth, especially as you grow. So make sure you buy charcoal toothpaste which contains real charcoal, not dye, which will be able to remove stains and whiten your teeth. Buy charcoal toothpaste with fluoride to strengthen your teeth and protect them from cavities as you grow old. Buy one which is a combination of natural ingredients like charcoal, lemon, mint, and zinc to give you fresh breath. All these can be found in your trusted Pepsi and charcoal toothpaste, the original charcoal toothpaste, which has fluoride with a unique combination of real charcoal, lemon, mint, and zinc to whiten your teeth, strengthen them, and remove bad odor from your mouth. Buy Pepsi and charcoal toothpaste to protect your teeth a lifetime. See, this Christmas we all have to go to Wisdom Villa. You know why? You'll discover the perfect place where tranquility meets sophistication. Step outside onto your own private balcony where breathtaking views and fresh air will suit your soul. So whether you're sharing a meal with loved ones or unwinding in your spacious outdoor balcony, Wisdom Villa's beautiful landscaping offers the perfect backdrop to make lasting memories. And Wisdom Villa, a place where every day is an opportunity to embrace wisdom, serenity, and extraordinary way of life. Wisdom Villa has a fully air-conditioned rooms, a bar and grill, 24/7 Wi-Fi access, shuttle service, pick up and drop off at the airport. Ready to make Wisdom Villa your new home? Call us today on 0322 009568. 0322 009568 and schedule your visit or www.wisdomvillagh.com to make your bookings. Locate Wisdom Villa at Ahodjo Kumasi on the IN Amisa Street. Ahodjo Kumasi on the IN Amisa Street. Wisdom Villa, where tranquility and sophistication come together to create your perfect living experience. Wisdom Villa, my wisdom by all. Mr. Ame is still with us this morning. So, Mr. Ame, let's look at what you've identified to be some of the challenges under this. Some say the continuous existence of the finance minister is not giving people confidence. You business people, like your level of confidence has so much reduced because the very man with the set of policies we expect of him is the one in charge. Do you think just by introducing a new individual at the helm of affairs can do some little magic to maybe bring back confidence of businesses within the economy?
Oh, yes. That's a big yes. Let's take President Kufuor's regime. Honorable Safumafu was one of the very fine persons in the Ministry of Finance, right? We were all applauding him. One fine morning, we got up and President Kufuor said, what? No, leave the ministry. Go to the sports ministry. Yeah. Honorable Banredu, come to the finance ministry. And we were shocked, like, what's President Kufuor talking about? And lo and behold, Banredu was another fantastic person who brought.
Good thing he has been one of the best finance ministers.
When all of us were thinking, oh, Osafo was the best, before he could say Jack, he brought a new set of ideas. You get it? Take the State Housing Corporation, for instance. We are not chief executives, right? So, if what the president is trying to make us believe that he's very good, why didn't you maintain Neil and Tevanapoy at the sports ministry? Because compare Neil and Tevanapoy's
this president should maintain Neil and Tevanapoy.
But he said he's doing a very good job, right? Right?
Which Vanderboy are you referring to?
And this is Vanderboy, the MP.
Is it Akufo-Addo should have maintained?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Well, if by the standard the president is telling us that he's very good, he's doing his job very well, compare when Neil and Tevanapoy was a sports minister and how he was keeping even the GFA on its toes.
Well,
and how our national teams were, where we started from, we were getting to. And after him, all the sports ministers who have come and saying yes, Amasa to the GFA now, and we are pumping our monies into into where we cannot even get anything from. So you should have maintained Neil and Tevanapoy. State House, when the new man who came, look at the wonders he's doing. Go to Ghana Publishing Company. When we took, I've forgotten the name, the new guy who came.
The man who led the demonstration.
Yes, the demonstration. Look at the fantastic job he has done there. Now, Great Accra Regional Minister in his own government. 2017 to 2020, there was someone who was a Great Accra Regional Minister, right?
Yes.
Today, when this current Great Accra Regional Minister came, haven't you seen difference? Have you not seen a difference? So what are we talking about? So is it that, I don't know, I'm tempted to believe reshuffle or doing changes are words that cannot be found in the dictionary.
It's like President Akufo. I think he's not going to do any major reshuffle.
He's not going to do it. That's what I
expect. I don't.
Yes, so we should start living with it because.
And it's like a lot of citizens are now very tired. Like
yes, it's like
fatigued
you keep
because
on
the
saying
same
fatigue have set in. So like you almost giving up and say, hey, listen, you know,
we're just waiting for them
to do a go.
Yeah, like now that seemed to be the feeling. Yes. Like everybody's just waiting.
And we do not care what happens on December 7th, December 7th, whatever the results will happen December 9th. Maybe on January 6th, we'll all breathe a sigh of relief and say, oh, at long last.
Yeah.
At long last.
But I'm surprised we are saying these things about Akufo-Addo's governance. Seriously, I wasn't expecting.
And now, it is a reason why the last time I was telling you, for me, I don't want to stick my nose out for anybody now. Because the way we all had faith in this man, that for him, it was no nonsense. If you are not doing the job, he'll get you off and bring a new person. And this happens to us, under him, under his watch. And you see, the very painful aspect is that this very person we are talking about, it's your family member. And you cannot tell me all of us who are complaining, majority of Ghanaians who are complaining.
Obviously, he's telling you
even
that.
From within,
that
we do not know what we are talking about. So can we all be wrong? And you and the finance minister will be very right?
Maybe there's something that we don't know.
So maybe there's something that we do not know.
Maybe it's not about what we are seeing.
So even those from within do not know.
Maybe.
So you think if you bring in a fresh person with fresh ideas, you all not can rally around that fresh idea to make it work? Because for now we all believe that whatever we want to rally around the current finance minister, we are not ready to go again. So we leave him to his feet, do what you want to do and go. So we cannot change this finance minister.
What's the mood of businesses?
For us,
is it a mood that like we are anxious, we are waiting for something to happen? Or
business.
Yes.
No.
It's just indifferent about the whole thing.
So when you ask us, what are we expecting? We are not expecting
Like,
it.
is a
It's
it's a boring question to you guys.
Yes, don't ask me that question. Because what are you expecting? Because definitely you increase taxes again.
Oh, I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm not too sure this time around.
Okay, so do not increase anything.
I don't expect that.
So do not increase light bills, electricity bills.
Yeah.
Water bill don't increase. IMF wants you to do more revenue generation. IMF wants you to do more revenue generation. So where are you going to get the revenue from? Where are they going to get it from? And you see, you abandon what? You said the road tolls, you've abandoned it. Today, they should be fair to us. They should be straightforward to us. Come and account for how much they generated from the e-levy as compared to the road tolls were there now. If at least we have automated every road and we make sure the monies we got, about 50% of those monies were used to maintain the roads that are being told.
And you know, the sad part of it is that about close to 800 persons with disability were employed to man these potholes.
Yes.
When the thing was shut down, now they are just.
Oh, you get them alternative. They should tell us what
There's
alternative
nothing.
they got for them.
As of this morning, they wrote a letter that they are just there. Nothing to rely on.
And we've abandoned the road tools. So cars just go in and out like that. Even when the road tools were available, the very roads we were towing, even just around the road tools, were terrible. So you see the money that you
The
are
irony of the situation.
and you see, you take money also for what? Roadworthy certificate from every car. So imagine the number of cars we have in this country. If every year we are taking monies from them, what are you using those monies for? So it's like much ado about nothing.
But
For us, we just feel, oh, it will be the same old story. They'll go, they speak the big English. He'll be in his kaftan, right? With a
Most
brown
likely.
bag.
you
Come
read
and quote the Bible for us. Say everything that you want to say.
with a soft voice, very
You
calm.
hear from his side, some of them will say, yeah. But I'm not sure tomorrow we are going to get a yeah. I'm not sure.
I'll
be shocked if we get a yeah. I'll be shocked if you get a yeah. If you get a yeah, then it means that even most of the MPs are not in tune with what is happening. That is why they want to go and spend 1.7 million in a private hotel that they are going for workshop.
What do you make of that, though? This morning we heard from the
So I was shocked. I've watched the video of the first deputy speaker, Honorable Joe Osei-Usu, when the question was put to me, he said it's about effectiveness, not about the money that when they even do it in Accra, they will spend even close to that or even more. And I was asking myself, so is this man really serious? So if he had a company that was on the verge of insolvency, and the management told him they wanted to have a meeting with an investor, and they wanted to go and spend so much in a hotel when they had a conference room that they could host that meeting.
Maybe they prioritize their comfort so much.
Oh, he tells us that there's no comfort in any hotel that is better than his bedroom. Hello. Okay, what type of bedroom is he having?
Sometimes this is not the problem. The people who
What?
speak,
No,
they make the.
when I was watching him speak, I felt like this man doesn't know what he's talking about.
I don't know. But
That at times he even want to avoid traveling. He would prefer the comfort of his home than a hotel. That small room. Really? The things you enjoy when you go to the hotel, do you enjoy those things in your room?
he's trying to tell his home is up to standard.
Up to standard.
5-star.
Far better than the hotels
Yeah,
that you're
5
sleeping
star,
in.
5-star.
So you should go and spend 1.7 million.
In other words, he's telling you that he doesn't take pride in going to those hotels. It's just because of job. He's working for Ghana.
With work.
So he's just there for them.
And he says what? It has been budgeted for.
The money, whether you like it or not, has been
So
designated.
at times I feel some of our MPs are not in tune with what is really going on. Seriously.
Maybe he thinks that's the honest truth.
Have you watched the
He's
video
telling you.
of whether it's a DC or an official saying VRA has brought them relief items, but they don't have money?
Fuel.
Christ me. In this country. Alpha.
The people who are in distress, we can't send them the relief items.
It's
We
high
can
time
go and-
if we do not get up as citizens and start matching our leaders boot for boot, they will be taking us for a ride. See, not long ago, let me just give you a perfect example. In Kejetia, we thought, you allow management to do their own thing. And we are having problems back and forth, back and forth. We decided to change tactics and said, okay, you allow management to work, but we want to attach ourselves to you and make sure every decision we all take, every part we want to chat, we are with you. Today, as I speak to you, from 29th of September, Kejetia had been on its own water supply.
Okay.
And you know the funny thing? Just somewhere last week, Ghana Water brought us a bill of 77,000. Is that not interesting?
A bill of what?
I stopped using your water on 29th September.
Maybe it's a debt.
I've shut what?
It's not that
no
debt.
A current debt. I've shut down the supply from your end. I'm now using my own borehole. And then you bring me a bill of 77,000.
How much did you pay in the previous month or so?
In the previous, they've been bringing 280,000, 300,000.
But now you reduced.
And we are telling them,
no,
we are telling them, even that those figures, you don't believe it.
So is it that you didn't use the water?
We didn't use the water. I am telling you on authority.
For the whole month?
We did not use the water from 29th September to the end of October. In the second week of November, you are bringing me a bill.
So it's just like a little over a month?
Yes. You bring me a bill of 77,000. Yeah.
So they came to read the meter automatic?
So we are now asking them, they should provide to them what they came to read.
Or maybe it's automatic.
So you see, yeah. If you are not matching them, a manager would have called, hey, bill has come and let's share. Today when we wanted to match them boot for boot, as we speak, very soon, yes, everybody will get their meters.
Just the meter is coming?
Oh yeah. Just last week.
Oh, okay.
All our 4 transformers that supplied us power.
Yes, I saw Nana Pempe writing something about it.
Went down like that. Just before. And this thing, I started warning about it from last year when one went down. Monday, it went down just like that. By Wednesday, the other ones have gone off. And then we were in the darkness. Now, you see, the next thing was that Mayor called, okay, you go to Accra and go and see what you can do. We called the person that you were supposed to go, the person was going to run. Instead of to make other calls. No. It had to take me to even tell the managing director, call this particular man and let's see how we will resolve this problem. And once that man was called, by the time we got to Accra the following day, whatever solution we needed, we got it.
Oh, so now it's confirmed that
we replaced the switches. We've replaced them. Okay. We went to Accra on Thursday. By the time we got back to Kumasi,
like you guys are working more for, you need to be giving some allowance. You're doing a lot
now. Even payment for those switches, we ourselves have to go to May again and prefer solution to your. Listen, some people have been paying service charges. Let's not begin to take service charge from everybody. So the new crop we are involving those monies, let's go and pay for the switches. So it's high time we Ghanaians begin to match our leaders boot for boot.
How?
Because
boot for
at
boot,
the end of the day, yes, every decision you take or all of us decide to take, we will follow with you to push it through, to implement it through.
But Ghanaians say they do it, but
in every sector we find ourselves.
We're complaining about so many things. They bulldoze their way.
So let's begin to start that. We will not allow you to just go alone. If you want to go alone, then you better leave the office for us.
Leave the office how?
Yes, then you leave the office. If you cannot carry us along, leave and go.
Maybe they think what they are doing might not be popular, but in the end, it will be in your interest.
So you explain to us. If you do not understand, then what you are doing does not make sense. If you cannot explain what will be in my interest for me, then what you are doing does not make sense. If the finance minister today cannot convince us that the stance he's taking, the policies he's implementing, are in the best interest for us, then it's better the finance minister leaves. Yes.
The finance minister, they have relaxed. He
can explain to the president for the president to understand.
Don't worry yourself. He's not leaving.
Listen,
he's not going anywhere.
He can explain to the president for the president to understand.
The president is very convinced with him.
But we, the citizens, who are the final beneficiaries of your policies, of whatever you implement, if you do not understand and you do not feel anything from what you are implementing, then what you are doing does not make sense to any of us. It doesn't matter what you are implementing is making sense to the president.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, the president doesn't pay my taxes for me. The president doesn't pay my lorry fare. The president doesn't buy fuel for me. The president doesn't pay my workers. So if I am not having any benefit, I am not seeing the effect, I'm not having any effect of what you are doing, a positive effect on my business, on my life, then I'm sorry.
As for the finance minister, I think he's staying, he's not going anywhere. Yes. Because if long time, so you guys should just forget because the man is very comfortable with him. In fact, he said that he's been outstanding. I'm even surprised you guys are. He's been incredible. The things he has done for our economy. I don't know why you guys are not witnessing what the finance minister has been doing.
This morning I've told you something. I said let's leave the jargons out.
And look at our personal life.
Whatever the finance minister has done, you.
Oh, as for me, they have told.
Has he had any effect on your life?
I've told I'm worse off. If I assess my life, I'm worse off. Yeah.
So does anybody need to come and tell you?
But the man who is close with the authority to appoint, he said this. So me, I can't do anything unless I wait for the next 4 years and then I'll decide. There's nothing I can do.
The man who is saying that.
Hey, he's comfortable. He said he has been incredible.
We do virtually everything for you.
And he has the power.
But who does anything for you?
So at this point in time, the only thing I can is just to talk, keep quiet, complain. That's it. Because he's not willing to do anything. Haven't you seen that the president is not comfortable with changing his ministers? Even Cecilia Dapa, if not because she resigned, she will have still been in office.
That's why I told you that the word reshuffle or change.
It is not in his
it's
dictionary.
Not part of.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah.
Yes.
So
you just do the comparison between President Kufuor. Let's leave the NDC out and let's do that comparison and see.
Let me go to Charles, Mr. Charles up here. He has just joined us. Mr. Charles up here, do you have any expectation for tomorrow?
Oh, of course, I have expectation.
Okay, share with us.
It's only the dead doesn't have any expectation.
As for we, there, we say we are indifferent because.
Oh, you should.
This government, when you expect things, you will be.
Yeah, sometimes yes, the disappointment will come. But I'm looking at the work that we have done over the period with the finance team in preparation towards
the finance committee or the officials of the finance ministry.
We have been very instrumental. Okay, let me say good morning to your listeners.
Yes, good morning.
We have been very instrumental in putting up policy alternatives to the government.
What are these alternatives?
Oh, of course, we're looking at the current economic indicators and the challenges, and we have professed to them measures that they could probably adapt to revamp the economy. One of them is basically looking at our tax system. Okay, and graciously, the finance minister himself and his team acknowledged some of the input that we brought up during the discussions. And some of them, they were not so much aware of some of the devastating effect of some of the things.
They were not aware.
Sometimes they are not aware. And that, of course, was an indication decisions sometimes were taken arbitrary, looking at the pressures and the insurgencies that we find ourselves.
But I thought that if government implements a policy, they'll be able to go to the ground, assess the impact of the policy.
But that is not so much of the case when it comes to Ghana. And previously, it was like that.
So just they do it from Accra and that's it.
But they said that looking at the time that they were in now, and the bureaucracies that we have to go through in engaging every stakeholder, there was a need to take some emergency policies, which of course they've gotten the heat of it. Now they've come home.
So you expect that something will come
home. We've had engagement since June up to last week or so. Most of the trade associations that are so much recognized, we had opportunity to do, to bring together our inputs. You've seen AGIs are also circulating. And government have done a medium-term revenue stream mobilization policy, which we know probably if they're able to follow through those policies, that's going to be the game changer in recovering the mess that our economy find ourselves in. We're looking at, when you look at the structure of the tax system, especially with the VAT, where we have the levies as a separate component and the taxes itself, the VAT itself. The components National Health Insurance, Get Fund, COVID, they were end tax that you cannot claim, and it becomes a cost to businesses. And we've told them that that is not the way forward. They should make it part of the input and our output calculations so that business can claim the 6%. Because one, if you're not able to claim it, that means that, and if you're not able to charge as well, that means that you have to use your working capital to cover that cost level. And that doesn't support business growth. They've agreed to that. We've also told them that there's a lot of multiplications and dual taxes that have a cascading effect on costs of production and cost of doing business in Ghana. Can we look at those things and take some of these out? Okay, when it comes to importation, you know, cost of importation balloon from last year, all right? Especially when you took off the benchmark values, the 50% for general
for some
and
items.
8% for the vehicles. I'd make items much more expensive. Can we look at how probably we can reduce some of these multiplications when it comes to taxation so that cost of importing? Yes, we want to move from importation to production, but it's a process. It's not an event. So let's take our time to go through that process, and we are looking at that. One other thing that we also profess to him is that, yes, you brought 1% COVID levy, but COVID is no more. Why are you still charging us COVID? And over the period, we've not had a proper accountability on how this 1% COVID levy, especially you brought an agenda 111. We've not seen so much effect about that. Like hospital, we've not seen what have you been using this 1% COVID levy recovery for. It is not necessary. It's part of the nuisance taxes. Can you take it off for now? Okay, if you think there's a need for us to put any emergency fund in terms of pandemic, then let's look at exactly other sources or the already tax sector that we're in. Probably we can put certain measures that if you are taking Get Fund, if you are getting national health insurance, component of national health insurance should be reserved for emergencies when there are pandemics in
Ghana, when they reserve something.
You
By
see,
the time we realize they have.
one other thing is probably we also realize that we let them off the hook so easily over the period. Now, trade associations have come together that we have to hold government to tax, to demand accountabilities of policies implementation. And you also remember the Fiscal Act, Responsibility Act, the 5% to GDP. That was waived because of COVID. We're pushing that they must reinstate it.
It should be brought back.
To bring some form of discipline within our fiscal space.
We need that.
Exactly. That we're not going to let it off the hook. So we have some expectations. Okay. And they also have certain expectations.
Of
more
businesses.
so because, apart from for their political gains, we're entering into a political year next year. Okay? The survival of your party to break the aid depends on your economic recovery policies that support the growth of businesses. Okay, so you have no other alternatives than to bring policies that will help businesses. This government is for us now.
But generally, what do you think are some of the major problems affecting the economy as we speak?
Oh, it's basically about the structure of the economy that we've also always say, and policy interventions that sometimes become more counterproductive, or sometimes in a much more word I try to avoid, counterintuitive. You don't really understand. In a regime where we want to arrest inflation, you increase consumption taxes, that's VAT. How will you arrest?
Did you make these points to them?
Of course.
What explanation did they appear that they are not?
That is policy alignment, where the monetary policy must always align with the fiscal policy. But in our case, it wasn't like that. One is using a different tool to assess inflation. One is using another tool to assess what we call revenue mobilization. Each of them must be in tandem. There must be a certain correlation, so that we can come to a point that, okay, this is what is causing our inflation. This is what is causing us to lose the guard, and that is what is making doing business much more expensive in Ghana. But moving forward, we've brought to bear some of the things that they should be considering. And I told them this. Yes, you can probably pat your back, says GRA, government, we've done well in achieving our revenue target. But the point is that every revenue we generate as government, as business, there must be a dotted cost to it, okay? Because every revenue comes with a cost. So you ask, at what cost is this revenue that I'm getting affecting?
Especially cost to business.
Exactly. And most of these revenue achievement by government have a dire consequences or ramifications to business growth. Okay. 2, we're looking at health. When you increase prices of items, especially simple consumptions for children, like the NAN, like the SMA, or whatever they call it, if prices of these items goes high, it means that parents whose disposable income has been affected cannot afford quality food for their children. The health implication is that we will be losing that mental growth potential for this case that could probably become the human capital of this nation. So we are sacrificing the future of our country just for immediate revenue mobilization.
For all you know, maybe government didn't think about that.
Some of these things.
Maybe it didn't even cross their mind.
Yes.
They were asking for the money, right?
Everything is about, there's so much
the
of revenue fixation.
Yeah.
And that is not what it's supposed to be. And we're reminded of them saying that they are interested in saving lives. And as a country, we have signed on to the UN SDG goals, where we must eradicate poverty and ensure good health. But if your policies do not help this, how are you going to achieve this? And 2, there's a model most countries are using in terms of revamping their economy. That is cutting down the micro taxes to government. That is simple word. Government, reduce your taxes, reduce your expenditure. Okay.
Yes, on that side, government expenditure, did they make any promise whatsoever?
Oh, the promise is
Any
they are going to
commitment?
be measured. Okay, that's what I'm saying, that we are entering into an election next year.
This year too is it's quite a very unique year for all of us.
Of course.
So I don't know if we'll wait to see if they will bring back the
fiscal policy
yes.
responsibility. Oh,
Because then
we are demanding that.
That will give us a fair idea of.
We are demanding that period that made you push off that.
Yes, it was waived because of
it's
COVID.
Over.
Yes.
Okay. So now, can we get to the normalcy? Can we do what is right? So we can have fiscal disciplines within our economy.
Zame, do you get the sense that, because from what Mr. Appiah told us, it appears that some of the policies that the government implements, they are even unable to determine the real impact it is having on the people. Last week, you had a conversation with me and you told me about how some businesses were being taken over by foreign nationals. Together with this point that he has introduced, it appears that government is not really in control of what I can refer to as the grassroots economy of our nation. Like, maybe they look at things at the surface value, like they are not really in tune with what is happening at the grassroots level. Don't you think so?
Well, what Mr. Charles has been saying all along now, I'm vindicated from all that we were saying. You see, when the trade associations, national level, decided to match the government boot for boot, not as in pushing the way, getting closer,
But
let's sit down and talk. Whatever you are doing, let's have a say in it.
Because
and
it's gonna
whatever we
affect
all
us at the
decide,
end of the day.
let's see you implement it. And let's see the results coming out. And let's start proposing solutions to
Think we
whatever
are seeing
problems
some
come.
positive
Definitely,
signs.
if the authorities want those things to come up. Because from the ground, I'm telling you, from the ground, you've seen the effect of us getting close to the authorities and say, listen, we are not here to take your job. No. We are only here to make sure that whatever is going on, we are part of it. Because we are on the ground.
I'm even surprised.
Are you not
they don't-
surprised that he's saying they do not know the impact?
They don't know how
of things
negative
they
the
go?
thing
So
is.
last time I told you that.
Because that is critical.
See,
If I've implemented something, I don't know how it is.
I'm telling you, I did the Ministry of Trade. Last time I said it. Let's take just one sector, one business. And it's okay, the rice import business. The Ministry of Trade should give us a rundown as how that business is being carried on, what the challenges they have, how they even solve those challenges. They should give us, they should tell us. Let's put the rice importers aside. And the Ministry of Trade should tell they really understand the rice business. They don't. Likewise, textiles, they don't. They only sit in Accra, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so let's do. They don't have an idea.
Because if you don't have idea, it will affect the quality of policy
exactly.
you introduce.
Yet when you get close to them, you want to prefer solutions, they feel you are too known.
But me, the business person, regardless of even my educational qualification, practically I am being affected by what you're doing in
exactly.
So I can.
It happens sometimes because maybe we also lose our guard as trade association, appreciating the role we have to perform as key stakeholders in designing the future of this country.
But Guta will tell you that most times when they even speak to the government is unwilling to listen.
You see, leadership is about accountability. When we probably had held on to that core of accountability, there's no way they would have had a free day. Okay. And sometimes trade associations who admit some of these things have some political undertones in it.
Yeah, that's
we need to protect. We need to protect our party. We don't want to make our party or government unpopular. You know that thing. So sometimes they get measured, and the effect is what we all feel. But I think we got into the part that we say, okay, now we know our space on the table of discussion, the decision making and discussions. Therefore, we will not compromise on it, and that is where we are going. You as a government must not probably be the storehouse of every knowledge of our economy or our industry. But you need to have a team that picks feedback for you. You need to have a team that will do monitoring and evaluation of policy implementation. That will help you to take proactive corrective measures to ensure that the target objective is achieved.
Because every policy is backed by an objective.
Exactly.
So you should be able to assess and see if...
Can you imagine, we have never demanded what has been the effect of 1D, 1F on our economy. Have you had that frank conversation with the government to demand for that accountability? It has been a knee-jerk, pick and choose conversation, and at the end of the day, we try to cover, because some people within the industry probably might have benefited from it.
Yeah.
But we are not talking about individual benefits. We are looking at the national impact of government policy on industry. I hope you get it. And that is the kind of conversation going forward we should be engaging. You remember now the former President Mahama has introduced, is proposing a 24-hour economy.
Yes.
We should not just take it on the table like that.
We should critique it.
We should critique it. We should have a detailed
because
conversation.
we don't just need the next
Trade
government.
association should invite him. Tell us how it's going to work. What is the product development policy? Okay? If it doesn't work,
what bill expectation? Because we already have an issue with
plans in executing such a project. Okay? And what are your indicators for performance? Let's interrogate some of these things, not just on the table, but as people who knows what we look.
I get the sense that some of the politicians throw in the promise, and then they will have to go back and now think
about things.
So maybe they throw it out there.
If probably we have done same to most of the government policies, planting for food and job, probably we have gotten to where price of food went up.
Seriously. Guys, let me take your last thoughts.
For me, it is not just a politician alone. It is whoever is in office across board. You see, always those who are at the helm of affairs, they seem not to understand what really they are
happening at the...
what really they are heading.
Okay.
Let me give another perfect example. When our lights started going off from last week Monday, management felt like, oh, okay, we are working on it, we are working. So on Tuesday, I got to them and said, listen to me. Do you know the effect kids are going off for the whole day will be having on the women in the market, looking at their counterparts just across the street, people buying from them. You know the number of customers they will lose and their sales. Those sales will not come back. By the end of the day, you go for your salary. So whatever it is that we will need to fuel our gen sets to power the market until we get back to a national grid, let's do that. It was at that point in time they realized that no, seriously, what I was saying really made more sense. Okay. But until then, they felt like, oh, let's keep and see, let's work on the national grid. Meanwhile, the national grid was not going to return to you even in the week.
Okay.
So for me, the fact is, let the trade associations begin to make sure that they get close to authorities, and then whatever decisions they are taking, whatever things they want to implement, let's have that conversation. Okay. What effect is it going to have on us? We'll give you feedback, and we'll sit back and then work around it. That will be best for all of us now.
Thank you
leaving it for them that, oh, you do your thing, and then we also someone. No.
Guys, thank you very much for coming. We are grateful for your time. That will be our show for today. God willing, tomorrow we'll see what the finance minister will be presenting. As for some of us, we say we don't expect anything. But Mr. Appiah said he expects something because he has had meetings with them, and hopefully some of the things that they have talked about will find space in the 2024 budget. That's our show for now, but before I go, let me do this quick birthday message. This one says that, please, today is my daughter's birthday. Kindly say a word of prayer and well wishes for her. She is Nadia Seidu Inusa. Nadia Seidu, today is your birthday. You are the daughter of our very good friend, Mr. Rashid or Dr. Rashid Inusa.